Hi, it's Thursday the 4th of September, and in my numbering system that makes this day 3 of the 91 day challenge. Um, so when I weighed myself this morning, I was 104.0 kilograms. So that means I'd have put on 400 grams since yesterday. Although it's the lightest, I did actually get close to 103 kilograms. So I'm basically a kilogram heavier than that. And then like now at 6 o'clock in the evening, I'm 104.5 kilograms. So my body's still putting on weight. So yesterday I had 2 meals. I had 5 slices of bacon because I had 10 left, so I'm having another 5 tomorrow. And they're fried in lard. And I think 4 eggs fried in butter. And I had that for breakfast early on because I think I was a little bit hungry at the late at night, the previous night. So I decided, well, okay, I'll feed myself now. And then in the afternoon, I had 500 grams of minced beef with that giant onion, or most of that giant onion which wasn't rotten, the bit of it which wasn't rotten, and I had that for tea. And basically, I think my stomach is just working on that onion. It's got some fibre. It's got some fibre to work on, and it's chewing it to death. It's like a closed session conclave in there at the moment, where they're like trying to elect a new pope and can't agree on anyone. So today I haven't been hungry, and despite me not being hungry, for a very late lunch, about 2 or 3 p.m, I did actually have 4 hard-boiled eggs and a tin of those Cornish sardines. Those Cornish sardines, there only seem to be about 2 sardines in one tin, so I wasn't all that impressed with that. And I don't really need the Mediterranean sauce, so I don't think I'll be buying any more of those. So I've got 3 more of those to work through. Because the thing was, on Monday when I started this diet, I showed you all these cans of sardines, and until today I hadn't actually eaten any. I'd had a tin of pilchards on Monday, but so on Tuesday I was using the bacon up, and then yesterday I was using the bacon and that minced beef up. Although I could have kept on hold of the minced beef for a few days, but so I'd been having the eggs and bacon because I thought it was hitting the spot. And I just wanted to use the beef up and use that onion up before it rotted anymore, because I was fairly convinced that it was rotten. So I'm not losing weight at the moment, and you know, you can go and blame all the fat I've been eating and the minced beef and that, but I think what's happened is it's the onion is in my colon or whatever, because protein, that's sort of like the first thing that goes. Like, you know, you got hydrochloric acid in your stomach. I think that breaks down the protein straight away, and then later on the bile comes in, and that deals with the fat, and then the carbohydrates and the fibre, that's what mainly being dealt with in the colon later on in the stomach. So I think it's the onion that's doing this, because you know that's the beauty of a low carbohydrate diet, is that you don't feel bloated. And because I've had that onion, well, you know, it was quite a large amount of onion. I don't actually, it's not so much bloated as full, you know, so I haven't actually been hungry today, but I just can't put and also I had a bad day yesterday. I think it's partly to do with the weather, because it was like raining all yesterday morning and I didn't do anything, and mornings is where I tend to do things. So like today went to the gym at about 8:30 or so in the morning, and I felt really good afterwards. I thought, woohoo! I've been to the gym. I can now laze about for the rest of the day doing fuck all. So what I did at the gym today, I did 3 counts of 20 on the assault bike. And what I like about the assault bike is that you're moving your arms to help power you along, as well as using your feet. So you're working like lots of different muscles. And the bike, if you haven't seen it before, or used one before, it's like designed so that the faster you go, the more effort that's required. So you reach a limit that you can't really go any faster. And so you can very quickly reach a sprinting top. So that's why I count to 20. I count to 20 with my breathing. Like, like once every pedal stroke sort of thing. So not as fast as I was just breathing there, a bit slower than that. So that's how I do it. And then I recover, get my breath back, and do the same thing again. So so when I started on Monday, I was like totally out of breath from doing 3 sets or 3 counts of 20, and that carried through to when I started doing the deadlift. But I wasn't particularly out of breath this morning with that, and I said I'd be trying to incorporate squats this time. So I've never done front squats, so I did 23 squats where you're not actually holding anything, you're just squatting down and up. No, I didn't do 20, I did 10. I did 10. And then I tried a couple of, with the bar, I tried a couple of front squats because I've never actually done them. And I thought, well, I don't really see the point in this. And I don't think I really want to do front squats because until I've got someone there to show me how to do them. Because the problem with front squat is like working out, what's the best way of holding the bar. Although the impression I get is you hold it any damn way you can try. So I then moved on to the back squat. So I did 20 with the bar, so that'd be at 20 kilograms because that's how much the bar is. And then I did not 20, 10. I don't know why I keep on saying 20. Then I did 10 at 30 kilograms, so that's just with 5 kilogram weight at each end. Then 40 kilograms and 50 kilograms. So that's about 50 squats altogether. I think that's enough. So I have actually been feeling my hamstrings a little bit. They're not pulled. It's just like you can feel that they've been worked. A little bit of aching. I think the aching's gone because I've just been sleeping for an hour or two. And then I went on to the deadlift. So when we did the deadlift on Monday, we got up to 60 kilograms. So that's where I started today. But I moved to the proper sets that you normally do for deadlifts, which is 5 rather than 10. So I did 5 at 60 kilograms, 5 at 70 kilograms, and 5 at 80 kilograms. So that's all I'd been planning to do today, was the assault bike, the back squat and the deadlift. But I was still feeling good, so I looked at, and I decided to do the pull down machine, and it was already set up for 40 kilograms, so I tried that. And I did 10 fairly easy. So then I did another 10 at 50 kilograms, and I did 10 at 60 kilograms. And there, the last 2 or 3, I was like struggling to get it all the way down. So I wasn't, for the last 2 or 3, I wasn't getting them all the way down here. I was only like getting it down to about here. Because at the gym, so it's like the Stour Leisure Centre. So it's like, it's ultimately owned by the council, but some kind of charitable trust actually runs it. There's a lateral pull down machine, which is like where they had that bar like that, and so that's like wider. That's called lateral pull down, and I normally at my peak I struggle to do much more than 55 kilograms on that, and it would probably normally take me a while to build up to 40 kilograms. While the pull down machine, the bars are closer in. So I'm not an expert on anything, so I can't tell you the difference between which kind of muscles have been used there. So that's what I did today. I then went to the GP to try and arrange a meeting with my GP, because of that ultrasound scan on my epigastric hernia here. So when they did that last Thursday evening, they reckoned it was an incarcerated hernia. So my GP sent me several text messages last Friday because they weren't able to get hold of me on the phone. So I eventually read one in late afternoon, and she said for me to be careful and to have it looked at by people who know what the hell they're doing. So I went to A&E, accident and emergency, at the local hospital, and the doctor who saw me there, he massaged it back into place or whatever, and he said, well, obviously it wasn't incarcerated, because if it's incarcerated, like the bit of stomach or the bit of fat, whether it's like pressure in the stomach wall, and it won't go back in, and then like there could be the blood supply cut off, and lots of horrible things start happening then. So he said, because I've never been vomiting or anything, that it's probably just fat that's going through there, rather than the actual stomach going through the muscle. So that was quite a relief. So that was also useful, because I now know what to look out for. So if I end up with stomach pain and vomiting, oh yes, that really hernia, and time to go to the hospital. So the GP wants me to contact her, but so I went to the GP practice because I don't like doing meetings over the phone, and also I tend not to use the phone for anything apart from just making these YouTube videos, and like the phone goes off and I don't actually realise it's the phone going off, or I think my phone's set up so that is that in properly, right? So I don't know what the sound's been like. I don't know what it's going to be like now. So I think there's a possibility my phone goes straight to voicemail or something, because people phone me and I don't know that they phoned me. So she wants me to contact her to discuss the results, even though I've actually already been to the A&E about it, and it's not an incarcerated hernia, it's a lot more benign than that. And the receptionist saying, well, the earliest callback we can have is on Tuesday. And I was trying to explain to her that I'm not very good with phones, and the doctor would actually like to see me in person, because she's seen me in person before, and I much prefer seeing people in person. But you know, the reception was going on about, only the GP can arrange that. So I said not to waste the GP's time by setting up a phone interview on Tuesday, because you know, I won't answer it. I won't know that it's going off. So then I left, came home, and then later today, I had a shower, and then I went to have a haircut. So that's what I've been doing today. So I'm feeling quite good, apart from the fact I'm not bloody losing weight. I've been through a lot of stressful things recently, because which is like slightly annoying me, because I was always planning to start losing weight and exercising on the 1st of September, because September is the month in the year where I start doing those things, and things have sort of like come together. So there's all these stressful things happening at the same time. So I work for a company that's a contractor. They win a contract. They win the tender for the contract. So the contract come on to the end on the 31st of August. So we've now got a new contractor from the 1st September. I don't actually have my first shift until Saturday, because now that the school holidays are finished, I'm going back to my normal hours of just working 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays. Despite me not actually having a shift in, I've actually got an employment tribunal grievance already in. I worked on it August bank holiday weekend, and so I send that to ACAS, and then that's the arbitration service, conciliation service. That was famous from the 1970s, but it's still around. And before you then proceed with your claim to the employment tribunal, you have to get the certificate from ACAS, and ACAS delay that for a week. So I finally got my certificate with the reference number on it on Monday. So on Tuesday evening, I worked on filling that form in. So that's done. But like I'm still apprehensive about what will happen next. I mean, there shouldn't be any reprisals or anything, but it's still a bit awkward, isn't it, when you put a claim into the employment tribunal and you're still working for the company that the claims against, or in my case, I haven't actually started working for them yet. So there's that, and then also there was like my bank Santander. Since 1999, I'd had a business bank account, because at the time you needed to prove, for a personal banking account, you had to prove that you had an income of at least £1,000 a month or something, £1,000 a year, a month. £1,000 a month, and I didn't have that. But the funny thing was that you didn't have the same requirement for a business bank account. So I opened a business bank account. So it probably wasn't Santander though, it was probably still Abbey National in 1999. But over the summer, Santander, they made the announcement that you're going to start charging people £12 a month for their business bank account. So I've been transferring over, so I've now got a personal bank account, and that's quite stressful, because originally you might spend ages on the phone to the business banking team, and the phone call comes to an end and whatever. So eventually I got the form filled in last week at the branch. The people at the branch are really nice. And so I've transferred that over, and then you've then got to transfer like all your money coming in and all your money going out being from the new bank account rather than the old bank account, so you've got to contact people and that. So that's been going on, as well as the new company, plus me starting the diet and exercise regime. And also, while this was all happening a few weeks ago, there's like a message on my phone from Vodafone about my new phone contract, and it was like slightly higher. It was like £16 something instead of £15 something, and that just like annoyed me and made me snap and thought, well, I'm paying them £16 every month, and I've only really got a phone in case I need to phone in sick or whatever at work, or if I'm looking for work, I need a phone number for people to phone me. Maybe, well, I prefer email. So I looked around for a cheaper deal. So I've now moved to Asda. So that the Asda SIM card arrived a couple of weeks ago, but on Tuesday afternoon, that was also when I arranged that. So because you have to get a pack number or PAC number from Vodafone, so I'd been into Vodafone a few days ago to get that, and then I went through the procedure of changing it on Tuesday afternoon, but because I'd started after 5 p.m. The process wasn't gone through to changing until today. So like my, because what I'm doing, although I've got a new SIM card, I'm retaining the same phone number. That's the bit which I forgot to tell you about before. So that's why I need the PAC code so that I can retain the same phone number. So that's been going on. Then on top of that, that's when all of that stuff with Keith and him messing around with the edge or the trench in my allotment plots come in. And just the thing is, if you're losing weight, the two most important things are getting enough sleep and not having any stress. And like Keith is causing me stress on top of everything else causing me stress. I know like I call it stress, but I'm assuming it's having some kind of effect on my cortisol level. And if it's having an effect on your cortisol level, then it is stress. I don't know. Because a lot to do with losing weight is to do with hormones. It's not, calories count, but you need to get your hormones sorted out. And so that insulin goes down, ghrelin goes down, leptin goes down, and other things go up. And so that's why sleep is the most important, because that's where basically when your body resets its hormones. And also it's helpful that you're not actually eating when you're sleeping. So that's another reason that insulin's going down then. So the sleep and the lack of stress are the two most important things for losing weight. And then comes how much calories you're having or what kind of things. And you have to restrict, and also because of the, if you can restrict your carbohydrates, which I can, apart from that bloody onion, that onion and like the milk I have in my tea, that's about the only carbs I'm having at the moment. Another fun thing to tell you about was yesterday morning or late morning, I thought, it's going to start getting really windy in the afternoon, so I better zip up the polytunnels. So I went to zip them up, and I wasn't paying much attention. And the first one, the one nearest to us by the shed, or by this shed, because we've got two sheds as well as two polytunnels. As soon as I looked it up, something started hitting against the entrance, wanting to come out. So I unzipped it again. The bloody juvenile fox came flying out. So I don't know whether he'll be sleeping in there again. So that's a fun thing that's happened. It's basically stopped raining here now for the moment, so that there's no rain this evening and there's no rain tomorrow. So I'll do quite a lot of gardening and stuff out the allotment tomorrow. Out the allotment I'll mainly work on cutting the grass paths while we've got a chance, while there's no rain about. And then the slug sensors for September, I'll do those next week. Right, I think I've rambled on long enough. I did actually promise on Monday not to do 20-minute long vlogs where I go through my recipes and that and whatever. So that's it. See you again tomorrow. At the weekend, I'm not quite sure what's happening because I get up at 5 a.m, but my time's normally busy and I do the washing up, I have a shower, and then I might go and water some plants as well. And then I leave for work about 6:20. So I might be able to do a video before I go to work, or I could do one when I get home, sort of about there, say this time. Now I've got this set up here. But the thing is, what I'll warn you in advance, after I've finished working and I walk home, by the time arrive here, I'm not only like a zombie, I'm like a zombie that can't speak and can't walk. So I don't know what the state of a video would be if I did it here on Saturday afternoon or Saturday or Sunday evening. Okay, that's it. That's enough of me. I'm sure that you're all agreed with that as well.